question goes as is. Are the Kardashian Jenner women just savvy pop culture icons? Or are they secretly a modern day coven of witches casting spells on their lovers and their fans? What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is tonibryanne, and in today's video, we're gonna be discussing if the Kardashians are really witches. It sounds absolutely outrageous, but the internet has brewed up, no pun intended, a viral conspiracy theory claiming exactly that. So today, we're going to do a deep dive on why some people genuinely believe the Kardashians are actually witches. But you guys know I like to start off every video with a little bit of positivity, and if you don't know that, you now know. So let's first start off with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "I see that my requests are being filled, and I am already grateful for what is coming to me." Today's verse of the day is Corinthians chapter 13, verse 6, and it reads, "Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth." Please be sure you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. I am on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Yes, I have a vlogging channel, and also a channel where I just talk about personal life, girl chat, dating, all the things that really affects women mainly in their 20s. I wouldn't even say your 20s. I would say probably just any point in your life, whether that's you as a teenager or whether that's you as a 30 or 40 or 50-year-old woman. I feel like we're constantly going through the same things, but maybe in a different way. But yes, all of those things are linked down below here, and they also be in the description box. Please be sure you guys are following my podcast, The Decision Podcast. It's all about how one choice can impact your entire life. We are available on YouTube if you guys want to see the video format, but we're also available on Spotify as video too, and also Apple Podcasts. That will also be linked down below. And if you guys did not know, this channel is also a podcast, so you guys can listen to me while you're on the go, or if you just prefer to hear the audio version in general. We are literally on everything from Apple Podcasts to Spotify to Audible, all audio streaming platforms. Toni Bryanne TV is available. So whether you're on a drive, whether you're doing your laundry, whether you're cooking and you don't want to look at the screen or you can't, you guys can now just listen to me. So please be sure to support me, follow me, download my podcast as well. It would help so much. And yeah, thank you for all the love and support. In today's video, we're going to be having a little bit of sips. So we're gonna be drinking Avaline wine. This is an 100% organic, 0% sugar wine, and it actually is very strong. But here's my little glass right here. We're actually gonna pour up a little bit more because we have a lot to talk about. We're talking about the Kardashians, y'all, and them allegedly being witches. I think anybody can deserve a drink with that topic. Let's pour her up, pour her up. We'll stop right there. Perfect. But if you guys would like to try this wine, I'll also have it linked down below where you guys can get a little discount. And might I say, the wine is by Cameron Diaz, believe it or not. So that's super cool too. Okay, I believe that is all the housekeeping. So let's take a toast and let's get into today's video.
Oh.
Now that's some good stuff. And we love to hear 0% sugar. Okay, can I get an amen? Amen. So we'll be chatting all about the so-called Kardashian curse with a K that people swear ruins every man they date, to a 19th century witch pact that supposedly started it all, to Kanye West basically calling them a cult. Yeah, we're getting into all of it. So make sure you guys have some snacks now, and I hope you guys have a glass of wine or juice or a mocktail or water. We love water because we're gonna be in for a wild ride.
Taking you in this moment.
So let's first start off with the origins of the Kardashian curse. So the whole premise of the Kardashian curse with a K, it all stems from the fact that people believe that every man the Kardashian dates ends up having a dramatic downfall. And it may sound very dramatic to say that the Kardashians have a curse due to the men that they date, but there is quite a pattern that does display that it can be insinuated that they do have a curse when it comes to men, whether intentional or not. Let's go down the list of all the men that have dated the Kardashians that have gone down a downward spiral after being with them. So first we have, of course, Lamar Odom. So Lamar Odom nearly lost his life after a drug overdose following his split from Khloe Kardashian. So it wasn't only after he was with Khloe, but during his relationship with Khloe, he was allegedly dealing with drug abuse. He was seen in and out of brothels, and even when he did have his drug overdose, he was in a brothel. Lamar Odom went from a respectable basketball player closer to just being some drug addict when people thought about him. And what's really interesting when it comes to Lamar Odom is that when he was dating his baby mother, Liza Morales, who he shares 3 children with, his reputation was never tarnished. Now you could think, well, obviously it's because Khloe Kardashian was a superstar and Liza was not. But Lamar Odom was also well known in the basketball world when he started dating Khloe Kardashian. So I'm sure in order to fit in the Kardashian curse narrative, people blamed Khloe for Lamar's drug problems versus blaming Lamar. But let's move on to the next person. Then we have Scott Disick. Scott Disick is the ex-boyfriend slash baby daddy to Kourtney Kardashian. They shared 3 children together, and Scott definitely went down a spiral. Scott went from being a party-loving socialite to publicly struggling with alcohol while on and off with Kourtney, and also struggling with depression. Scott lost both his parents, and he lost everything at one point, where he was feeling the need to want to unalive himself.
Okay, I understand you need to talk a little clearer, okay?
No, we have to call the police.
Hold on, Mom. I understand this.
I need an address.
Yeah, just get up, okay?
Ask him where he is. Get his address.
Where are you?
It's just not as easy as you think when you have addiction issues. You guys really did so much for me for so many years, and it's just, it kills me to the point that I feel like I can't make it up. If I didn't have those kids, I would kill myself. But I have them, and I'm gonna be here. And I'm gonna make it right for them, you know?
Thankfully, Scott is still here with us today, but he also contributes to people believing that it was the Kardashian curse that led Scott to lose not only both his parents, but to also lose his mind. Even their own brother, Rob Kardashian, is tied to the Kardashian curse. As we all know, Rob has faded from the spotlight for a while. He dealt with weight gain, and he has battled depression and isolation for long.
Have deep-rooted issues. Robert has just a lot of deep-rooted issues. Because Robert doesn't talk to a lot of people. He shares certain things with Kourtney, certain things with Kim, and certain things with me. Is that true, Robert?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Not that I'm antisocial, I just choose not to.
No, he is antisocial too.
He changes
Let
his
him
cell
talk.
phone number
Hold
once
on.
a week.
Hold on, hold
Let
on.
him talk.
Let him talk, let him talk.
I mean,
Robert, everybody talks about you
mhm.
and kind of seems for you. Aren't they right, though, that you're kind of a simmering volcano waiting to erupt?
if it's something I'm passionate about, then I'm gonna speak my mind.
But with a screaming voice.
With the screaming
And
voice.
it's only if I'm passionate about it or if I'm speaking the truth about something.
You remind me of how I used to be, like, and have this anger inside. I think sometimes you don't know what's gonna just set you off.
My whole thing is my anger, a lot of it stems from like the working environment because they all kind of put this cloud on me like I'm a loser.
What do you say when people do that?
I mean, I don't say anything because I don't believe it.
But then you blow up later.
But then you
No, I blow
later.
up later because when there's a business opportunity, all my mom obviously cares about is the 3 girls. And whenever I say, let me, I want to open up a men's
But
spa.
Mom never helped us with that.
Anyways, she's my mother. And
Okay, hang on for a second. Okay, guys, hang on for a second. First of all, what are you feeling in this moment?
Like they don't understand.
Misunderstood.
So
And how does that feel to you?
it's frustrating.
You look sad. Am I misreading you? I want everybody quiet but Rob right now. Robert, don't leave.
Please don't
Please.
leave, Rob.
Please don't leave. Stay and talk about this. Things don't get better when you walk out.
And it's interesting because the only sibling that seems to have public issues to that level, facing depression, facing being overweight, facing wanting to be alone all the time, is the male of their family. You don't hear this a lot when it comes to the other girls. Like, yes, you might hear one of the daughters has anxiety or one of them has a little bit of trauma, but they still look very polished, whereas Rob looks like what he's going through, or at least when we last saw him, he did. Then we have Kris Humphries, who's infamously known for being Kim Kardashian's husband for 72 days. after him and Kim broke up, he never recovered. He literally vanished from the spotlight. Whether intentionally or not, it fits into the Kardashian curse narrative. Then we have none other than rapper Tyga. So how Tyga was allegedly affected by the Kardashian curse was after he broke up with his girlfriend Kylie Jenner. He went through a lot of financial troubles. He was constantly allegedly getting cars repoed, and then of course his reputation was ruined for dating a then 17-year-old Kylie Jenner when he was 26 years old. He was a grown man, so he ruined his reputation on his own, but especially after he broke up with Kylie, everything just seemed to have gone wrong in his life. He seems to be a little bit back on track now, but Tyga is not the same Brack City rapper that we knew back in 2010. Then we have Tristan Thompson, who of course, he had all the cheating scandals. He got exposed back to back. No one likes Tristan Thompson anymore due to him cheating, but similarly to Lamar Odom, Tristan dated before. He had a child before Khloe Kardashian, and he did not get stuck with this very negative reputation until he dated Khloe Kardashian. This is not me blaming Khloe, because these are grown men making their own decisions and their own choices, but people believe that there was some spirit that led him to want to cheat on someone like a Khloe Kardashian. Well, both meant to do so. Next, we have Mr. Travis Scott, who was once a superstar rapper, constantly topping the charts. He had the hot girlfriend, Kylie Jenner. He had the baby. He literally was on top of the world at one point. Then the Astroworld tragedy happened, and his entire career and reputation disintegrated because of this. Of course, rightfully so, because if y'all saw that Astroworld documentary, you'd be absolutely disgusted. And a lot of things that happened behind the scenes with Astroworld, the entire tragedy was completely preventable. But once again, people think that this was tied to the Kardashian curse. And then lastly, of course, we have Mr. Kanye West, who had multiple very public breakdowns after years with his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. He has a whole separate segment, so we'll get more into him a little bit later, but he also was linked to being tied to the Kardashian curse because Kanye did not have all these public outbursts until he started dating Kim. But like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later. So it didn't take long for the internet to start connecting the dots. Some jokingly, but some were very serious when it came to the Kardashian curse theory. This Kardashian curse theory basically says the Kardashians are hexing their men. And whether you're on TikTok, Reddit, or scrolling through gossip blogs, chances are you've seen the term Kardashian curse with the K floating around. And it's become a pop culture staple. And the theory got so loud that even the family was privy to it. In the 2021 reunion special, Kendall said this in quote, "What I don't like about the narrative is that the blame is on us. The men need to take that responsibility," end quote.
What I don't like about the narrative is that the blame is on us. Like, I think that they need to put the men need to take that responsibility. Do you know what I mean? I think that we're all extremely giving and caring and loving women, and when there is a man in our lives, we like give everything to them, and it's like almost like offensive. I mean, just personally, I'm saying
Definitely offensive because they're blaming women for men's problems, but you don't hear a bunch of men on this couch. And if the women weren't doing better, like, because the men are doing
Let me
just
tell you,
as
Kanye is doing pretty well. So I think that, like,
you also have 2 NBA championships, a Super Bowl. What else? I mean, all these things.
Well, yeah, no, of course, factually,
you can go
it
down
doesn't
the factual
actually add up.
successes of all the men.
And I wholeheartedly believe she definitely has a point, because you can't blame the women for the men's actions. However, if you want to put it in the Kardashian curse theory realm, maybe they made those decisions because they had a curse on them. I'm just joking around really, but hey, I don't know, it could be real. Khloe Kardashian herself has spoken out because she is like a big reason why people believe that there is a curse due to the men that she's dated. She called the whole thing sexist, saying this in quote, "They're blaming women for men's problems," end quote. And in a 2023 episode of The Kardashians, Khloe got extra spicy about it, okay? She said in quote, "According to this theory, I must have made someone a drug addict and made someone cheat," end quote. And she was clearly referring to Lamar and Tristan, her ex-husband and her baby daddy. She was being sarcastic, but also not really, because she also recently brought it up again in her new podcast, Cocktails with Khloe, laughing off the allegations that they are indeed witches. This actually was from her podcast, Khloe in Wonderland. Cocktails with Khloe is a former show she had, so I got the names confused. She said this on Khloe in Wonderland.
The Kardashians are witches. Oh, I've even seen this video. The story is their great-grandmother on the Kardashian side went to a witch and made some sort of spell that her family would be famous and rich. I'm not a witch that I know of. I can't tell you what my great-grandmother did, but I don't think any of us are witches. I would hope if I was a witch, I would know some really cool spells, and I know nothing.
So is this curse actually real? I personally don't know. Once again, I think it could be very believable, but I also do side with Kendall and Chloe when it comes to society constantly putting the blame of men on women. I know some people chalk it up as a coincidence. They say fame and pressure breaks up a lot of relationships, especially when they're constantly under a microscope, which I definitely have said already. But for the true conspiracy theorist, the Kardashian curse is step one in a much bigger witch theory. Because to them, they're like, what if the curse isn't just some unfortunate pattern, but it's actually a spell, one that was cast generations ago? And we're about to get into that right now. This video is brought to you by BetterHelp. Workplace stress is one of the highest causes of depression in today's world. I mean, it feels like we're constantly working, but working for what? Everything is super expensive, including rent, mortgage, different things in life that bring you pleasure. Everything is so expensive. And that may lead you to have thoughts that you never intended on having. Different ways that I alleviate my stress is going for walks, sitting by my pool, sitting on my balcony, and reading books. But another way that myself and you guys can alleviate stress is by going to therapy. And that's when BetterHelp comes to play. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. And the best part about that is that it works to fit within your schedule. You can chat, video call, or even message with a licensed therapist from the comfort of your home. I love that I don't have to sit in traffic or wait weeks just to go to an appointment. You can literally start talking to someone within 48 hours. If you've been thinking about therapy or just need help trying to navigate everyday life struggles, I highly recommend giving it a try. My listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp. Just go to betterhelp.com/tonibryanne. Once again, that's BetterHelp.com/tonibryanne. So there is a very juicy origin story to the Kardashian curse theory. I honestly think it's kind of a fun and interesting theory as to why people think that the Kardashian curse exists today, but we're gonna break it down right now. According to one very popular myth, the Kardashian dynasty's fame and beauty weren't just a product of being smart businesswomen. Allegedly, they were supernaturally guaranteed this over a century ago. So the tale goes like this. Back in the early 1800s, one of the Kardashians' ancestors made a pact with a clan of witches in old Armenia. Their ancestor's name was Kekal Kardashian, a dark-haired Armenian woman said to be the sister's great-great-great-great-grandmother. That's a lot of greats, okay? Well, it was the 1800s, so I guess that makes sense. And allegedly, Kekal, or Kekal, I think it's Kekal. Did I say Kekal? Kekal? I'm gonna say Kekal. Okay, Kiki. I'm gonna say Kiki, actually. Let's say Kiki. So, allegedly, Kiki desperately wanted a better life for her family, okay? So, in 1809, she ventured deep into the forests of Armenia to find the infamous witch clan of the Cuyahoga Woods. Yes, you guys, they have names for all of this and everything, but we're not finished yet, okay? So these witches were rumored to possess powerful dark magic and ancient curses, and Kiki allegedly offered her soul to 4 witches in exchange for a mighty blessing, which was to give fame, fortune, and physical beauty to her offspring and future Kardashian generations. So the witches accepted this, but with a very sinister catch. They agreed the Kardashian women and their descendants would indeed be blessed with extraordinary beauty, allure, and success. But in exchange, all the men close to them will suffer. And I don't know if I would use the word blessed to describe this mess, but this is what people are saying, okay? Now, according to this lore, the witches fulfilled their promise in a twisted way. Kiki's female bloodline would rise to unimaginable fame and wealth, but the family's men, whether relatives or romantic partners, would bear a curse of misfortune. And the story even suggests that while the Kardashian women would have external glamour, they would also lack talent, wisdom, and dignity, having traded those virtues for superficial gains. Now, this over-the-top tale is completed with a ritual. So one of these versions claim the witches made Kiki dance naked with a hedgehog on her head and a leopard's tail attached, humiliating her before sealing the deal. And this might sound absolutely bizarre, but when I tell you guys this has been circulating the blogs and YouTube videos as a supposed explanation for this Kardashian phenomenon, it's been going on for years, and I'm not lying when it comes to that. People really believe that this is like a thing. However, there is no historical evidence for a Kekal Kardashian or an actual witch coven. The legend appears to have started online around 2015 when an article outlining this Armenian witch story went viral in conspiracy circles. And in 2022, the theory got a fresh boost post on TikTok when a creator by the name of Patty Pop Culture recapped the craziest conspiracy theories about the Kardashians, describing the witch pact story in a short video that reached millions of views. The story was literally so widespread that, as mentioned, it even popped up on the Kardashians' own radar. Khloe and Scott Disick discussed that very TikTok in a recent episode, effectively debunking it and rolling their eyes at how far-fetched it was.
Says that many moons ago, a woman in our family made a deal with 4 witches. It's wild. I'll show you. Let me see.
It was alleged that a woman sacrificed her soul to 4 witches in Armenia in order for all the women in her bloodline to always have fame.
This is wild.
It's super sexist. Why can society blame us girls, but they would never blame men?
I made mistake.
Someone a drug addict. You're telling me you made someone cheat, or you made someone this or that. Like,
I just wish some of the guys would come to our defense.
You ever been to a psychic?
No.
I kind of want to go to one.
Me too. I want to go to someone who tells me about like my past lives and like.
So that's what I'm saying, something like that. Because you know how everybody says there's like that Kardashian curse to the men? Oh my God. I don't know, it's kind of scary, but it's kind of dope. Like if it actually like had truth to it.
Yeah. The Kardashian curse is every male figure that comes and dates a Kardashian, their life kind of just goes downhill after that. I am not against exploring this more with Scott.
Yet, for die-hard conspiracy theorists, the witch pact legend is the perfect explanation because it neatly ties together the family's multi-generational fame thanks to the eternal fame that was promised to the witch and the infamous curse on the men that they have around them.
So Kendall calls me and tells me that Scott bought a rooster to rid himself of the Kardashian curse. Scott is so ridiculous. I mean, he does weird things anyway, but this is like on another level. He just like is reaching. I'm so annoyed he even thinks that exists. Like there's no such thing. Obviously. Of course, put the blame somewhere else, you know? Always. He never wants to take like accountability for his own actions. He wants to always put the blame on someone else. Yeah.
What do you mean?
You think that we cursed you. Did you really go to a voodoo doctor?
I've been shopping around, yeah. I just think a lot of people have come into this family and hasn't been the easiest.
It's such a lie.
You guys think nothing is ever wrong.
A Kardashian curse? It's not real.
Are you joking?
I'm offended.
It just seems like the guys in the family have it a little tougher.
Now, I personally believe that this theory is a bunch of malarkey because if this was the great-great-great-great-grandmother, what happened to all the other Kardashian relatives? Because I don't think any of the other Kardashian family members were honestly successful. I mean, I guess their dad was, but he would have been Kiko's great-great-great-grandson. So that makes no sense. And yeah, he had a little bit of fame, but he wasn't like a celebrity. The Kardashians didn't really boost their celebrity until 2007. And even then, they weren't as massive as they were in like 2011 and 2012. And I guess the next ones coming up are their children, and I know people say, well, you know, they only bring their daughters out, they don't ever bring their sons out, or the Kardashian daughters are more popular or successful than the Kardashian sons, which I can see because whenever you see the Kardashians out and about, you very rarely see the boys. It's like they use the little girls as like little handbags sometimes.
Why do the Kardashians only post their daughters but not their sons? Because they can't profit off the boys the same way they can profit off the girls. And they learned that from the master herself, Kris Jenner, which is why I think we never see Rob. Of course, that's all just in my opinion though, which I'm allowed to have.
But maybe the boys just don't care to be around their moms and do the girly things. I don't know. I guess we'll see in like 10 to 15 years if the Kardashian curse lives on and then the girls are successful and the boys aren't. But I don't want to say that because I don't want to wish bad on any child just to see a theory come true. But like I said, only time will tell. To believers, this theory is almost poetic justice that an ancestor's dark bargain granting prosperity to the Kardashian women at the cost of male misery. It literally frames the 5 famous sisters and their mom Kris as a sort of enchanted matriarchy, perhaps even knowingly continuing the witchcraft tradition down the line. And indeed, some speculate that Kris Jenner, the matriarch, could be the present-day coven leader, carrying on the ancestral magic and ensuring her daughter's success through spells and rituals. But we'll talk about Kris more later. And yes, it does sound absolutely insane, but it's undeniably a unique narrative that adds a dramatic paranormal flair to the family's real life story. And in the internet era, a story this wild spreads fast. So memes and threads about the witch ancestor abound on Reddit and Twitter and YouTube channels, I guess including mine. But some YouTubers have created and produced mini documentaries on the bizarre tale of Keiko Kardashian. It has literally become a modern day folklore. But hey, after all, the Kardashians' rise to fame and enduring influence can feel almost magical or unexplainable to those specifically who are not fans. Speaking of influence, let's examine some evidence that conspiracy theorists point to when arguing that the Kardashians might truly be dabbling in the dark arts. So why do people look at the Kardashian-Jenner family and immediately yell witchcraft? Like, where exactly is this even coming from? Well, beyond the whole Kardashian curse and the alleged Armenian ancestor named Keiko who made a deal with a coven in the woods, the internet has been collecting receipts, or at least what conspiracy theorists claim are receipts, like little clues and signs that they say is pointing to something much darker behind the scenes. Let's break down what the believers are always pointing to when it comes to the Kardashians and them allegedly being witches. So the first thing people love to point out is the vibe and the aesthetic. If you look at certain Kardashian photo shoots, especially Kourtney and Kim, there's definitely been a witchy energy at times. One that always gets brought up is this photo of them both in black, and Kourtney captioned it, "Witches of Eastwick." A cute little reference to the movie, right? Well, conspiracy TikTok was like, aha, see, they're telling us they're witches. People also bring up the fact that the sisters are constantly in all black, doing gothic glam, and showing up to events in looks that could low-key double as coven attire. Now, to most of us, that's just high fashion, but for the Kardashian haters or extreme conspiracy theorists, they believe that that's just them dressing as their true selves, witches. The internet even has a nickname for them. They call them the Witches of Calabasas, and that's not just on a Reddit thread, okay? Legit news outlets have also run with that title. Then there's the name thing. All the girls, Kim, Kourtney, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie, and mommy Kris, all their names start with K's. KKKKK, okay? Now, yes, that's just Kris being Kris and branding the family, but some people actually say that the K's are a symbol for their coven. And when you start seeing stuff like Kardashian curse spelled with a K instead of a C, the theorists, they eat that up. Is it a reach? Probably, but when you're deep in conspiracy TikTok, nothing seems like a coincidence anymore. Now, say it is true and the Kardashians really are witches, okay? If they really were a coven, let's be real, we all know Kris Jenner would absolutely be the leader, or the head witch, okay? I mean, we all know the saying, the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. That saying alone already adds fuel to the fire. And an actual self-identifying modern witch once said in an interview that Kris Jenner is the most realistic witch in pop culture. This woman goes by the name of Brie Luna. She runs the blog The Hood Witch, and she literally said, in quote, "I'm serious, Kris is definitely a witch. She used to endorse ritual manifestation candles," end quote. And y'all, that part is true. Kris actually hosted an infomercial in the 90s for these psychic candles that were supposed to help you manifest wealth, love, and success.
Once in a very long while, a truly remarkable product comes our way that challenges what we think and can dramatically improve our lives. Hello, I'm Kris Jenner. In the next few moments, you're going to discover a product that is so powerful, it can enhance your life forever. And I have it right here. These are wicks of wisdom. And it's the special formulas added to these unique candles that make them so amazing. The powerful effects that they can bring to the people who burn them are truly extraordinary. So open your mind to the possibility of making your dreams and your wishes come true. Skeptical? You don't have to believe. Just watch.
Like, she literally was selling spell candles before her family was put on to wealth and success. I don't know about the love part too much, but wealth and success for sure. And finally, we can talk about the sisters and their psychic obsession. So Kim, Kourtney, and Khloe are known for constantly going to mediums, and they even do it on their show, The Kardashians, and their old show on E, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kim especially has said that she's obsessed with spiritual guides and tapping into her inner goddess. She's done done sessions with everyone from the Long Island medium to the medical medium, and she's even been to healing retreats in Bali. Kourtney's brand Poosh is basically a catalog of crystals, energy cleanses, and sage bundles. Now, let's be real, in LA, that's just a regular day. Wellness and spiritual stuff is super trendy there, and a lot of people, especially celebrities, like to explore it. But seeing them consult mediums and play with aura readings just feels like more fuel to the fire.
Okay, this just came through really strongly. Skin. I'm saying skin, I'm referencing to what looks like melanoma.
Mom just told me that it's melanoma.
This was way more serious than I anticipated it to be.
And it didn't help when Kim Kardashian decided to wear the late Marilyn Monroe's dress to the Met Gala. And when Kim was going to go pick the dress up, she was gifted a lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair. And she said something along the lines that she's going to use it to do a spell or something. Take a look at this.
What is this?
That is Marilyn's hair. So.
You can clone her.
That's awesome.
Oh my god, I'm literally going to do some crazy voodoo shit that I want. Wait. And I channel her. Oh, this is so special to me. Thank you so much.
So that threw people off too. It's like, did her veil slip and she accidentally said that out loud? She does seem to have a love for dead people's belongings. So when you put it all together, their weird outfits, the candles, the K's, the psychics, the lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair, it starts to paint this very spooky picture that they may just be witches. But that's not just it. We've still got more layers of this theory to uncover. And I also want to add on that the men we already discussed that were impacted by the Kardashian curse, that is just a few of the men, okay? We have Reggie Bush, who dated Kim Kardashian briefly back in, I believe, 2008 or 9. He went from being granted the Heisman Trophy, which is an award that is annually given to the top college football player every year, to just being regular. No one talks about Reggie Bush anymore. Like, he's almost like a non-factor. Right after him and Kim broke up, his NFL career took a hit and all of his injuries piled up. He kept getting hurt time and time again. He literally went from a household name to just Kim Kardashian's ex-boyfriend in a short period of time. Then we have Scott Storch, who was a super successful music producer who briefly dated Khloe. And after that, addiction, bankruptcy, and a full career collapse. Again, obviously there was more going on there, but the internet does not care. If your name even briefly gets attached to a Kardashian, your life is set to be ruined forever, according to theorists, obviously. Heck, even Jordyn Woods, who isn't a man but was super close to the family. She got brutally bullied by the family and by numerous of people around the world after that whole Tristan cheating situation happened, and she allegedly hit a real rough patch of depression. Some fans even joked that she got hit with a reversal curse. Now, are these actual cause and effect scenarios? No, but people love a pattern, and their logic is if every dude that comes near this family ends up spiraling in some way, maybe it's not just a coincidence once again, and maybe the family's feeding off that downfall. Maybe the price of their fame is someone else's failure. It's definitely giving us a compass. Now let's talk symbolism, because you know the internet loves to zoom in on things nobody was supposed to notice. So conspiracy TikTokers and deep dive YouTubers have pointed out hand signs, room decor, Instagram captions, and all these things that they believe is an Illuminati portal. For instance, Kylie once posed with a snake in a 2019 magazine spread, and the internet went crazy believing it was meant to emulate satanic imagery. But if you look on a more realistic scope, it probably was most likely to pay homage to Britney's iconic snake moment that she did at the MTV Awards. But people would rather pay more attention to the whole Kardashian cult theory. Then you have Kim Kardashian's 2021 Met Gala look, the one where she wore all black from head to toe, like every inch of her body was covered in black. And Twitter immediately went into saying that she was doing a ritual. And TikTok, they literally said that she was a shadow demon, while others speculated, like myself, that she may have just gotten work done and didn't want to make it public, so she had her entire body covered. And a lot of people had these theories because it didn't seem to match the Met Gala theme, so it just seemed off. But I don't think it was necessarily ritual. Like I said, I think it may have just been her, maybe she got work done, or maybe she didn't like how she looked. Heck, maybe she even had a pimple on her face and she did not want to show anything. But regardless, when you add all of that up, the cursed men, the symbolism, the snake shoots, the black outfits, and then the names with all the K's, it becomes a story. Maybe not a true story, but a very compelling narrative. And let's be honest, the Kardashians are perfect for this kind of theory because they're rich, powerful, untouchable, and they're constantly in our faces. But it still is a confusion as to why they were so special to blow up in fame. So it leads people to think the only explanation being is witchcraft. However, the story doesn't just stop there, because one person really pushed the Kardashians are witches theory and practically made it a mainstream allegation. And that person is none other than one of the Kardashian-Jenner clan's baby daddies and ex-husband, Kanye West. Let's talk about it. So Kanye West was married to Kim Kardashian for 6 tumultuous years, and he was one to never hold back his thoughts and has publicly insinuated that something unnatural or controlling was happening behind the scenes in the Kardashian world.
Chicago is either gonna be a blessing or she's gonna be a problem. And I feel that Hulu and I feel like Kris are trying to turn her into a problem. And I love Kris Jenner, but come home to Jesus. If you serving Christ, I'm serving you. If you serving anything but Christ, as you tell Kim and Kylie and Chicago what to do, then it's up. Because I'm serving Christ. And I am the living Rob.
They wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched the medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right? Yeah. I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really? What's the crazy part, really?
They can't scare you. They can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James.
In the depths of him and his ex-wife Kim Kardashian's split, along with a lot of personal controversies that he was going through, Kanye made statements that conspiracy theorists and Kardashian haters eagerly latched onto as confirmation of the Kardashian witch cult theory. At one point, Kanye outright referred to the Kardashian-Jenner clan as a cult, okay? And in late 2022 and into 2023, during social media rants about his in-laws, Kanye expressed that he felt trapped and manipulated by the family and the media machine around them. He vented that in, quote, "all these rights have been taken away from me by the Kardashian mob," end quote. And he stated that they were controlling his life and his children. He was particularly angry about how decisions regarding his children were being made, accusing Kim and her family of cutting him out and using their Hulu and Disney deals to influence things. But Kanye didn't stop there. In various interviews and posts, he made cryptic comments that really fed the rumors. On a podcast called The DJ Academic Show, Kanye allegedly compared the family to witches. Paraphrasing reports of that interview have Kanye saying this, end quote, "the Kardashians are literal witches. They're the witches of Calabasas. Look at every man in that family and what happened to them," end quote. Now that quote basically mirrors exactly what conspiracy theorists had been saying. It's like either Kanye was reading from the subreddit forums or he had personal insight that might really deem them as such. Now I do also want to note that Kanye at that time was oscillating between concerning behavior and attempts to regain control of his narratives, so his statements were very dramatic, and I say that all to say that we should be cautious when it comes to labeling what Kanye said as facts. But furthermore, Kanye has spoken about the dark side of Hollywood in a way that intersects with that witch narrative. He infamously remarked in a 2022 video that his own mother was sacrificed, and that Hollywood elites engaged in sacrifices and mind control. While he wasn't specifically naming the Kardashians in that context,
I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed. Me too. You understand? Yeah. Michael Jordan. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize, They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still Forbes, who hate me, right? Had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important than keeping alive.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Those kind of statements made people believe even more that the Kardashians were indeed witches because they were a part of Hollywood. And people even use Kanye's song lyrics and visuals, saying that they have occasionally featured religious and occult imagery. For example, the music video for his song Fame had his artist Tiana Taylor dance in a way that some compared to the Kikul witch story. They claimed that she was wearing cat-like features at the end. So people started questioning, was Kanye trying to tell us something? And each time Kanye had a public episode, like his 2016 breakdown, or his 2020 Twitter rants calling Kim and Kris supreme leaders and comparing his life to the horror movie Get Out, the internet buzzed with theories that the family was driving him crazy, or that he was under some spell. And all this reached a peak when in 2020, Kanye tweeted that he had been trying to divorce Kim and accused her of meeting with another rapper. He also honestly noted, in quote, Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up, end quote. This led many to read this as him resisting some controlling force. Kanye went from one version of himself that people recognized before he got with Kim to one that was completely unrecognizable. But it can definitely be argued that Kanye was battling with mental health issues, not dealing with actual witches. However, to those who are more spiritual or who have always had a distrust towards the Kardashians, they're obviously going to believe that it was the Kardashian curse that turned Kanye this way. But I also want to say, most people that are crazy in Hollywood, some truth has always come out about what they were talking about. So I'm not going to say 100% that I don't believe Kanye in terms of him saying that he felt very controlled during his relationship with Kim Kardashian or during his dealings with that family. But you guys, that is the end of today's video and the speculation on whether or not the Kardashians are indeed witches or not, and if the Kardashian curse exists or not. I of course want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you guys believe the Kardashians are actually witches? Do you believe this is all a bunch of blasphemy and baloney? Let's get the conversation going on in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please make sure you're following me on all my social media platforms, and remember, we're on the road to 300,000 subscribers. So subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. There will be a giveaway briefly coming up as we get closer to that number. I love and I appreciate you guys all so very much. I will see you all in my very next video. Love you guys. Bye.
Taking you in this moment,